Alright, real quick, someone was asking how I got this purplish tint on this face here. So I figured I'd make a quick video. And basically it's very simple. It takes a couple components. So you have there's usually 3 colors that I would use to come up with this kind of vibrating effect, where you have like the deep reds and then the purple and then the like light magenta. So I'll just find like a dark red, something like this, and use this brush, or now you can use a round brush, you can use anything, just so long as the opacity is turned on, so that when you press hard, or when you let go, it goes soft. When you press hard, it goes hard. So you need to be able to do that. And then I'll just go ahead and fill in one of these other faces. Alright, so you just lay that in as a just like an overall kind of underpainting, right? And I like to use this brush because it has a bit of texture. It really doesn't matter, you could use anything. And this brush, by the way, is just default. It comes with Photoshop. I don't use like special painter brushes. It doesn't matter. Okay, so once you have the red, I like to go on top of that with like a vibrant light, kind of neon blue. So it's not this sky blue, right? While that works, that's not what I'm looking for. What I like is this almost magenta, like purplish light blue. I guess it's more towards lavender, but it has this like neon vibrating effect, and to me it's kind of bluish. So I would take that and just kind of on another layer, just so that I can erase it if I want to, lightly paint on top of it, right? And so now you have the warm underpainting vibrating pretty well against the cool. So like I'm covering up pretty much all of that red, but you know, and now if I was to like select areas that I wanted to isolate, I could just kind of erase it out and stuff. So that serves as the underpainting. Once you have that, then you can go back to the color picker, and we want like a light orange or a light you know, the skin tone. So you could use something more yellow, something more, there's so many different combinations that you can work with. So I just picked this like light peach. I almost always end up changing things, so it's a process where you just kind of it's like trial and error. So it's a build-up, and this is how most painters would paint. If you were to use actual oils or acrylic or gouache, watercolor, it's often a build-up. It's not like where some artists like paint pixel by pixel, and like as they go down the whatchamacallit, like a printer, you know. That's kind of lame to me. So let me just find that color again. It was like something like that. I lost it. Alright, so that's like the start of it. Then I'll pick that dark red again and just make it really dark, like, darker than before, and just fill in the hair. And now I'm doing this without reference. I'm just kind of basing this off of like all the studies that I've done before of actual portraits and that fun stuff. And I'm filling in the hair. And at this point, I would just flatten it. We're, well, let's see, 4 minutes in, and it's pretty much there, right? Like, it's got all the information I need. Maybe I'll put some whites for the eye. Okay, so now we're getting there. And again, I would make another layer and go even lighter. So let's pick that color again, and then so we went from dark red as a base, and then something cool as the next layer, and then something warm again for the skin tone. And the mistake most people do is to stay in the warm. But now when we're going towards the highlights, I like to go cool again, which is kind of unexpected. And that's how you get this effect, right? It feels really cool, and like there's skylight above her. Oops. Okay. And so it works the way actual skin works, because skin has a bunch of layers, right? It's got the epidermal layers, and beneath it are different things happening. There's blood, there's lack of blood, there's veins and variations. And of course this like doesn't look good right away, but once you start refining things and really doing accurate lighting and all that fun stuff, then it starts to come together. And then so yeah, we have the light blue that's on top, and I'm just going to go ahead and erase out some of the areas. And so that was the blue, and I want to go even lighter, so then we switch again. Now let's go to a warm color. Well, yeah, something like that. Okay. And just kind of watch what happens. It all just starts to come together, and all the colors work in harmony, and they stay within the same family, and that's kind of what you're going for. And yeah, so yeah, 7 minutes in, you got everything you need. And we know that the nose is kind of like a cylinder, so let's go ahead and put a cylindrical highlight. Alright, there, like that. And a little spotlight up top. On the tip of the nose, I mean, not up top. And there it is. It's just happening. It all comes together. Now this is a low-res version of the photo because I don't have it on this computer. I just grabbed it off of my DeviantArt real quick just to answer a question. Yeah, so you just keep doing this, and once you get the hang of it, it just becomes natural. And now I'm just kind of putting in highlights. Sorry, it's kind of hard to talk and paint at the same time. Alright. So with this color palette, I kind of developed it recently, and I guess you can steal it. It doesn't matter. I feel like if I do anything and I put it online, or if anybody does anything and puts it online, like, people are going to copy. But that's an opportunity for the originator, the trailblazer, to kind of come up with something else, and it forces us out of our comfort zone. So 8 minutes and bam, so the next step, we'll just keep refining things and making it more realistic, or adding secondary light sources. And what I like about this color palette, it has a nice pastel feel to it. And it feels kind of like soft and smooth, rather than really harsh lighting that you might get in a studio, like a photo set. So yeah, let's give her some eye color. Now over here, I just, it might have been a slightly different range of colors, but it's generally that's what I did. And then on top of that, I just probably did some kind of red glow color dodge. Let's try it. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I got that glow over here underneath her hair. So it's a new layer set to color dodge, and it's a darker red. Because if I went to the brightest red, it would just be way too bright. Not really. I mean, it works, but It's kind of not what I want for now. So yeah, and I think we could use a bit more warmth in the skin tone. Let's go ahead and make it normal, and we want something like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to give her eye color. Okay, wait. So for eyes, let's go with, lavender? Sure. Yeah, just like fill it in. Yeah, that looks nice. Maybe some more makeup. The thing is, this part of the process where you're putting on the makeup is like, girls kind of have the advantage if they already know how to do makeup. I had to kind of learn. I didn't watch makeup tutorial videos or anything, but I did. All right. So then we want some highlights. Well, hot spotlight. No, what's the word I'm looking for? Hot spots. So you have the specular highlight in the eyes, in the lips, assuming she's wearing some kind of lip gloss, and got some of that magic going there. And then, of course, the most magical trick of all is the cheapest way to make something look like it has more form, and that's rim light. And some people call it the kicker light, but whatever you call it doesn't matter. It's this kind of light implying that there's more, that there's another light source coming from elsewhere. And so, yeah, look at that. A small, quick trick to do that. Small, quick trick. And see, I started this video and I wasn't planning on taking it this far. I was just kind of wanted to explain it, but here we go. I guess I'll just keep going, because I like where it's going. And I am painting up the Wednesday Addams. This one is not the Wednesday Addams, but the other thing that I did earlier, which is in progress here. I started it. It's in the middle stage. I'll get back to it. I'm also recording that process, so I'll show the beginning stages of that. So let's go back to this rim light. And then we can let some of that rim light touch the nose. El nariz. I don't speak Spanish. Yeah. Wacky, I think you likes it. Okay. Now let's flip it. Oh my god. That is the worst. Her jaw is just like slanted. That always happens. So when this happens, when you have crazy asymmetry, which, it could be a style, it's not too bad, but you could just go in and liquefy. Man, see, it's crazy. I didn't even notice that when it's just regular. So yeah, you can push things around using the liquefy tool. Just don't let anyone see you doing it, because they're like, oh my god, you're cheating. Whatever, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. And then you can tweak the other parts for symmetry. And yeah, liquefy, it's, I think, let me check, filter. Yeah, so it's, you just go filter, liquefy, or Control Shift X. Maybe we'll add another light source on the left. By the way, that liquefy only works if everything is on the same layer, so I had to flatten it just now. There's a certain part where in the neck. So you have the neck muscles. You have the sternocleidomastoideus that comes and attaches to the collarbone over here, right? And what happens? This is all happening underneath the skin, right? So there's a little dip that happens here, and there's a nice little highlight that goes there. So if we take away those lines, you know, that's what's left, and it's a subtle thing, but you know, knowing those subtleties is what will make your image nicer and more believable. And you can get some light on top of the collarbone. Yeah, so I like to like blur some of the edges. You know, the edges that aren't as important. Oh, let's you know, I'm gonna up-res this real quick. Oh god, that's tiny. I should have painted it bigger. Alright, let's go 2500. Okay. You know, and that way we can, I like to use the blender brush, or with the mixer brush. It's this fourth one down here, and you can just take any of these brushes, and it works like the smudge tool, right, like that. But I'll do that to certain edges to let them fade into the shadows. Because if you look at classic painters like John Singer Sargent and Zorn, Anders Zorn, they all these edges that aren't really important, they're not the focal point, they'll just blur them. And if you notice in Disney movies, they recently, like in Tangled or Frozen, if you look at the edges, they're blurred. You know, let me find an example real quick. Alright, found something. So if we just hit copy and paste. Alright, so yeah, if you look at the screenshot of Anna, these edges are all blurred, and what that does is it forces you to look at the face, and we can push it a bit further. Sorry, Disney, you know, if we were to do that, that's a bit too much, but it forces you to look at a specific location. So that's something you can use to lead the eye in special places. So yeah, alright, okay, so what else do I want to do? Oh right, I wanted to add freckles. So there's, I don't know where I found this brush. It's a scatter brush. I'm sure if you just Google splatter Photoshop brush, you could find something like, it's just like an ink splatter. What I like to do is let's delete that, use red, and just put freckles, right? And you might say, well, you know, it's like too much, why are you putting all over? What the heck? Stop it, man, what the heck? So what I'll do is be like, dude, relax, you know, it's on a separate layer. And what I could do is hold Alt and hit this button on the bottom right. It's a reverse mask, so it takes it away. Let's bring this back up so you can see the time, and I'll just paint in using white, because anything white will bring that back through, and just lightly let the freckles come back. And I don't have any special layer mode on there. It's just regular coming through as a mask. Alright, so yeah, finishing touch, we'll just make a new layer and set it to color dodge, and it's that red, and get some glowing on that rim light, you know. There we go. So yeah, that's maybe I'll tone this down a bit. It's a bit bright. That's how you do it. Alright, Thanks for tuning in. Adios.